Friday afternoon, October 8th, 2016. You're listening to the Line Sports Talk podcast. Not a whole lot of pissing around to do. We all want to go watch college football and drink Bloody Marys. Let's jump right into the show today. I'm joined with everybody's favorite, Joey Peeps, and Pepper Jack the Big Cheese is back with us again. We're going to go over some picks and get moving. What's up, fellas?
How we doing, guys? Good afternoon. It's beautiful Saturday, October. The leaves are changing, and I just love all the football I can get.
We all accounted for. Pepper Jack, are you with us?
Yep. Yeah, Pepper Jack's here. We're ready for some football.
Awesome.
Pepper Jack the cheese.
Before we get started, we actually have a Twitter shout-out to a listener out in California. His name is Raider Athletic, HB4, at Harris Burks 4 on Twitter. Today is a one-year anniversary that he had a tumor removed from his kidney. And long-suffering, tumor gone. A year later, he is healthy, and he's a contributor on Twitter. He watches the show, listens to the show often, and we're just glad you're healthy out there, Harrison. Go Raiders, man. Good to hear from you.
Go Raiders.
Joey, Jack, you got picks? You guys all ready to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna explain to everybody how that I'm gonna be wrong again this week. So yeah, let's do it.
All right, fire away. Let's start at the top of the list. It's a game I actually think might be better than advertised. Houston traveling to Minnesota. Minnesota is a 6.5-point favorite. The game sounds like it might be boring and defensive, but it might be a hard-hitting game. I'll start with my pick. I don't see any chance of Brock Osweiler traveling to Minnesota and being very good. Nobody else has thus far. I think that my bust of the week could be DeAndre Hopkins, who I have on two teams, and I'm seriously considering benching him. I think Minnesota wins this game by a touchdown, and they cover the 6.5. But give me some love on this DeAndre Hopkins thought. Am I crazy?
I don't know. I don't like anybody against this Vikings defense. I don't care who you are. Right now, I don't like Superman against the Vikings defense.
Yeah, they shut down Odell Beckham Jr. Pepper Jack, what do you think?
Well, we saw what happened, I think, Monday night when what Minnesota can do, what that defense can do, and how they can shut teams down. I don't think Beckham had a wonderful game. Right, Joe?
3 catches.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I worry about with Minnesota this week is their offense. I think they'll obviously do fine on the defensive side of the ball, shutting down DeAndre Hopkins again and Lamar Miller.
Yeah.
I think that Minnesota's offense may struggle a little bit. It looks like Stephon Diggs is going to be out of that game.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier in the week, though, there's a guy named Cordero Patterson that might get more playing time this week because of that. Watch for him to make a big play. I'd take Minnesota minus the 6.5 at home.
All right. Peeps, what do you got?
So would I, as a matter of fact. I can't fathom Brock Osweiler and the Houston Texans going in there and doing anything against that defense. Stranger things have happened, of course. We all know it's the NFL. It's the place, the diary of the weird. But I can't imagine it either. I gotta roll purple people eaters all day.
I'm with you. Something to note for your daily fantasy plays too. We always talk about trying to pick players in games that have these pretty high set over/under numbers. Assuming they're going to score some points is the thought there. This game's at 40.5. I can really see Minnesota winning this game, 23-7. This game's not going over that 40.5. It might be a nice unders play too if you want to watch a defensive game. But at the same time, like Pepper Jack said, one kick return from Minnesota or one fumble recovery, you could go over that number. But I like the unders too. Next game is another shit box on the list. Tennessee Titans travel to rain-soaked Miami. Dolphins at home are laying 3.5.
How is it down there in Florida, Tom?
How is the weather? It's beautiful.
It wet? Is it?
It was. Thursday and Friday was a little soggy, but really we're a pretty lucky state today. Thanks for asking. I think everything on the East Coast, there's some stuff that's pretty beat up. Northeastern Florida, Jacksonville, that area got kicked around pretty good, but we're okay. We're good on the west side.
All right.
So lucky stuff, but the game sucks. I don't know that anybody's going to watch that game or have time to go.
No, you can count your boy Mr. Peeps out on that game, but I will add, as far as who I like in that game, I'm just going to – and it brings me great joy to say this, and the Miami Dolphins stink.
Yeah, they do.
That fish, they smell like some rotten fish because they're pretty bad. I'm going to go with the gonna go with the flying Hawaiian here. I'm gonna go with Marcus Mariota, and I'll take that 3 points. I don't like anything about this Miami Dolphins team, personally, and just looking into it. No, they stink. I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Titans. Give me those 3 points. I'll take it.
Okay, Jack.
Pepper Jack State's home team, Miami minus the 3. Tennessee's not a good team. They haven't really shown much. Miami is at home. Tannehill has enough firepower, I believe, to win that game by more than 3.
Okay. I would be with you on that side because I do think that Miami is probably the better team, especially being at home. They played Cleveland. Cleveland played them pretty tough in Miami a few weeks back. Mariota hasn't been very good. He's been sloppy. I don't know that he's turning the ball over that much, but they haven't seemed to be very explosive at all. Tough games, though. They've had tough matchups. This isn't the one where he gets right. Over-under here is at 43. I don't know what that means, but I think Miami probably wins the game like 19-17 in some silly way, and I'll take the Titans in the 3.5.
Well, 63% of America agrees with you on the over-under.
Where at, in the Titans game or the?
Yes.
Yeah, but I wouldn't buy into anything what the general population in America thinks. I mean, after all, we do have Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton facing off in a presidential election. So I don't have much faith in the knowledge or the intelligence of the growing public out there anymore.
The masses are difficult, and the casinos keep getting bigger and better because the masses just don't play it right. But that over number looks pretty odd, or the under number looks pretty good for me in the Houston-Minnesota game. And this one here at 43, I would still think that leans somewhere to the under as well. And it's tough to play the unders, especially in an NFL game, though. It's just it's just not fun. You're rooting for nothing to happen.
That's why I'm a northerner, so I'm asking about the weather down there because I don't know if that will be a factor, if there's any aftermath of the hurricane still.
I think that Miami in that part was really, really fortunate. Storm actually got northeast of them, and I don't know that they got too much at all. So I think that area will be completely unaffected. All right. You'll see tonight Tallahassee. Not Tallahassee, excuse me. The Florida State Seminoles are in Miami tonight. And it should be fine. But on to the beat down of the week, potentially, the reunion of the week. Tom Brady comes back to the New England Patriots. They travel to northeastern corner of Ohio to take on the Cleveland Browns, a town hung over by 2 Indians wins and maybe ready to catch another one on Sunday afternoon. I don't expect much of a hometown crowd here for Cleveland, and I can't imagine a whole lot of local Red Sox fans are going to be there either at 1 o'clock. New England should go in there and pummel them by 14 points. This line's at 10.5. Pepper Jack?
Pepper Jack's all over the road favorite, 10.5. I'll lay the 10.5. I think the over-under in that one's about 47. Yep. I look for a high-scoring game on one side of the fence, so I'm looking at about a 31-10 ball game in favor of New England.
The blowout should always lean to that under, I think. I like it. I won't even be too long-winded about this. I've been waiting in a couple leagues for Tom Brady to come back. He's back. I've been struggling without him, but hanging on. Tom Brady unleashed the dogs. He probably goes off on this Browns team that will try their very best to be competitive and fall apart.
Joey,
I'm going to go 41-6, right at the number, 41-6, New England Patriots.
Wow. Joey, what do you think about the offensive firepower of the Patriots? What are we going to see? Because, they're so unpredictable with Brady coming back with Blunt a little banged up.
Well, here's the thing. We're talking about Tommy fucking Brady here. I mean, this rust. I mean, I've heard people say rust with Tom Brady. This is Tom Brady. There's no rust. This guy keeps himself ready at all times. This is going to be an embarrassment. As much fun as Cleveland has had these past 2 days, and rightfully so, they deserve that. But it's gonna be a bad scene Sunday at 1 o'clock at First Energy Stadium. Bad scene. With Gronkowski on the field, you got Martellus Bennett. I mean, this Browns defense is terrible. Oh man, I don't know. I made a comment earlier. This might be the one game in NFL history where you might see a running clock in the second half. It's gonna get bad. The 10.5. I mean, I would. Why don't you make it 20.5? I mean, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. New England, I mean, it's not even worth talking about. New England's going to roll this game. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I don't see any way the Browns can beat in this game.
So in your eminent wisdom, is this a lock?
Like I said, I hate that word. I always say, a lock. You want to see a lock, go to your front door. I think it's just a degenerate, moronic word used in the form of gambling, because there's no such thing as a lock. But dude, this is about as close as it gets.
Okay.
I mean, I think
put it on tape.
I don't like to use the term lock, but I'll say a foregone conclusion.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I think New England beats their ass. I don't think there's too much else to say here. Brady comes back. Terrell Pryor, if you could have him in a fantasy line, I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't buy him on DraftKings, FanDuel, any of the dailies. I wouldn't start him in a standard lineup. Leave Terrell Pryor on the bench tomorrow. The New England Patriots and Bill Belichick have one job to do, and it's not be concerned about Terrell Pryor. They'll stop the running game, and then they'll just pressure Cody Kessler. This shouldn't be much of a challenge. I don't even care anymore. Let's move on to one that I think, Joey, you think this one's going to be a beating, and I don't know about that, but this is the New York Jets traveling a little bit west to Pittsburgh. 7.5. The Steelers are a 7.5-point favorite. Joey Peeps, this is your gang. This is your show.
Yeah.
Hit me with some optimism.
Optimism. I don't know. I can hit you with that if you're a Steeler fan, but
okay.
I can't make. My boys this week, granted, who knows? This is the most Jekyll and Hyde team I think I've ever seen. I followed the New York Jets since I was 8 years old. They're a complete Jekyll and Hyde team. But I just can't make an argument for them in this game. I mean, you have the secondary looks terrible for the Jets. Darrelle Revis is a shell of himself. Buster Screen can't cover me.
Darrelle Revis is out.
Yeah, and okay, well,
I don't know.
It's not even like it's that big of a deal. It would make a huge deal back a couple years ago, but now I don't even know if it's a big deal.
No, it might not be.
Yeah, and the Steelers team just got so many weapons. Brown, Bell. I mean, they can line Bell up at receiver for God's sakes. I mean, if this guy keeps his head on right and stays healthy, this is a remold of LaDainian Tomlinson and Marshall Faulk. The way this is an all-purpose machine. So, and the way Ryan Fitzpatrick, 9 interceptions in 2 games. Give me Pittsburgh all day until my Jets can show me anything otherwise. I can't make an argument for them.
All right, Joe's laying for the black and gold, 7.5. Jack, what do you got here?
Well, Pittsburgh showed some offensive firepower on Sunday night.
Quite a bit.
I don't see that coming. Obviously, they can put up some numbers, and I don't know what's going on with the Jets. I thought the Jets were a better team. I thought they were going to be a better team this year. Like Joey said, they haven't really shown much as of yet. I know Decker is out. I hear Anunwa may not play. They're having, I think, Matt Forte's banged up, too, if I'm not mistaken.
He is also on the injury report.
Yeah, so I look for Pittsburgh to cover, only because I'm not certain what the Jets are about this year. But then again, there's that wild card because, we watched Pittsburgh get throttled by Philly 2 weeks ago, wondering – maybe I'm wondering what team's going to show up in Pittsburgh. But I'm still point Pittsburgh 27, Jets 17.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you're asking them to cover a lot at that 7.5. And again, if we're out in one of the big houses out in the desert, you just don't do it. This is too many points for me. Pittsburgh, they're only a short couple weeks away from that beating they got from Philadelphia. But I wouldn't worry too much. I don't think the Jets are very good at all. I think Pittsburgh wins and covers. Over-under on here is at 48. If it gets out of hand, maybe so. I think you stay away from that number 2.
Who let the dogs out?
Somewhere in the dog pound is Joey Peeps. They're probably raiding the house.